Welcome to the Millcreek Government Channel. I'm Judy Zelina, and today on our show we're very, very lucky to have Ainsleys Brozick, who is the Executive Director of the ExpERIEnce Children's Museum.
That's right.
I've been saying, and you know, it's just sort of a little bit of a tongue twister, but the ExpERIEnce Children's Museum it's a place that's been inspiring creativity and imagination in children for 20 years. That's a long time.
That is a long time. Lots of kids.
Well, we are so glad to have you on board. We're really lucky because the Children's Museum has experienced a lot of growth, a lot of new programs on board, and thanks to Ainsleys joining the team. Ainsleys, how long have you been with the museum?
Just over 2 years. I embarked on this journey, as I like to call it, and as you pointed out, we have been so fortunate because we've really recreated the role of the Children's Museum in the community. Lots of new staff, new board members. The museum has received really a complete overhaul. And so we're so proud to be in the community and hope to be here for another 20 years.
Well, you celebrated a birthday last year.
We did, yeah. I thought it was really important when I took over that we celebrate the journey of the Children's Museum and really share with people why having a Children's Museum is important to a community. You know, it's a place where kids can just be kids. There's so much that goes on in our world today, and with all the technology and distractions in the world, I really wanted to celebrate that the Children's Museum is a place where families can engage in fun, active play together and, you know, just spend some quality time together. So we celebrated our birthday celebration, 20 years, where we gave back to the community and gave 20 events for 20 years. So there were over a dozen free admission days. We brought in special authors and special performers to celebrate and just really focused on what the Children's Museum is for the community.
I think it's wonderful. I know my grandchildren really had a lot of fun for many, many years. But what I'd like you to do, Ainsleys, let's just take our viewers walking through the front doors of the museum. What are they going to see?
Great. Well, you know, the museum is home to 3 floors, and we also are home to an outdoor space, which we'll get to. So once you walk in the front door, the most iconic exhibit that everybody talks about is the water table.
All right.
What more fun can you have than basically a pool inside the museum where they can race rubber duckies and boats, and they create dams, and the whole concept is really about how water flows and how you can create dams and make a path for your duck or boat to race down. But you know what, I'll be honest with you, I've seen a lot of adults get awfully wet and have a lot of fun there as well.
I think I was one of them too, though, Ainsleys. It's learning for the children too.
It is, yeah. Problem solving.
Okay.
You know, they need to be able to have some hands-on experiences.
Right.
And so we don't worry about things being broken or things that they can't touch. You know, I struggle with the word museum because museum to me is a word that means, you know, maybe hands off. You look. And a children's museum is really hands-on. We want you to explore. We want them to touch things. We want them to problem solve. We want them to work together with other kids as well as their family. So everything is on limits, and they can get in and get close and personal. Also on that first floor is home to our bedrock cave, which is another favorite. Not only is it a cave, so it's a little dark and you get to go in and experience what a cave is and see fossils, but it also is home to a slide. And that's by far one of the favorite things on the first floor.
Now, on the 3 different floors, the experience, when you call it ExpERIEnce Children's Museum, that's what I find so amazing. Because when you actually go in there, it's truly an experience. It's not, like you said, Ainsleys, where you have to stop and just look at things. It's not just art on the walls or exhibits. It's actually learning and interaction. You also do a lot of special events throughout the year, don't you?
We do. We do over a dozen special events. You know, we try to continue out our mission. So, you know, we really support kids having hands-on experiences. So, a lot of our events, of course, we do breakfast with Santa. We throw a great party called New Year's Eve, which is New Year's Eve for families, which is super fun. But we also do events called Future Me, which is a kid-sized career fair. So the museum is filled with an athlete, a doctor, a teacher, a veterinarian, and letting the kids explore what they want to be when they grow up. We do all kinds of performances. We bring in people from the Playhouse. We bring in the Lake Erie Ballet, really trying to get the kids to understand what goes on in our community, to get them engaged in not only the arts, but the sciences. We do a super science day where we bring in engineers and whatnot, trying to give them a well-balanced look at the world we live in.
How many members do you have?
Well, we are proud.
Or it is a membership,
Yep.
correct?
You can come in on a daily admission, but we are proud to say we have almost 1,000 families, which is
Wow.
nearly triple what it was 2 or 3 years ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So the support for the museum from the community is strong, and you know we couldn't do it without them. It really is a community place, and so the admissions, just like other nonprofits, the admission, the membership, what you purchase in the gift shop, classes, are what help to make the museum run, and then go back into helping us to create more exhibits and expand and whatnot.
And I think that's important, Ainsley, that people have to realize that the fees that you charge go right back to help enhance the Children's Museum. So it's right back into the community.
Right. We've been so fortunate, you know, we've had a lot of local companies that have stepped forward and helped us. And with the increase in membership, we've been able to give the grocery store, the beloved grocery store on the second floor, a complete facelift thanks to Wegmans. It's the Wegmans Kids Market. You know, we have Old Town, which is really our town, and it's got a bank, a doctor's office, and a deli. And it lets kids explore jobs and role play and use their imagination. And, you know, exhibits like that would not be possible without the support of local companies. We have a locomotive that is going to be debuting in the next couple weeks on the second floor.
Really?
Yeah, almost full-size front-end locomotive. It is enormous.
Are you kidding me?
And the kids are going to get to operate a train inside.
How exciting for them.
Really reflecting our history here in Erie,
Right.
and
Yes.
you know, what they can see and be proud of our town. We also have a tot spot in the lower level
Okay.
that is geared towards, we see a lot of pre-walkers, and you know, our age is typically 8 and under, but we're seeing a lot of toddlers. And you know, I'm a mom to an 8-year-old, so I know, you know, sometimes you don't want to mix the 8-year-olds with the babies. So we created a spot that is just for the pre-walkers in the Creativity Center. And it's soft play where they can explore and imagine and do all kinds of fun things, but at their level. And we don't let the big kids in that area for that reason.
Well, think about it. When families come, they may have an 8-year-old, but then they're, you know, mom and dad are also bringing a toddler too. So, you know, so you got something for everybody there.
We do.
I mean, even the adults. Believe me, adults, you're not going to be bored in this place. Don't think it's just for kids. You can tell people you're going there for your children.
Yeah, right.
But you're going to have fun too. You were talking about you have 1,000 families as members. What is your annual attendance throughout a year?
We see about 50,000
Do
visitors.
you really?
Yeah.
I guess that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, and that doesn't include, we do a lot of community outreach. So you will see us at events and whatnot.
Right.
We try to take, we call it our mobile museum. So we will travel to events and bring the museum on the road if we can to reach places that maybe can't get to the museum. But 50,000 people, you know, it's a great testament to just how important we are to the community.
It really is. It is. Well, anything that helps, you know, bring the arts and creativity to children, I'm on board 100%.
Yeah, we've themed each floor. So we talked about the first floor is explore.
All right.
The second floor is imagine, and that's where most of your creativity role-playing takes place. But we also have sciences up there. We have aerodynamics, and we have magnetics, and we have all kinds of hydraulics and whatnot up there that you can learn about. And then the lower level is creativity, and that's where kids we have a section called the Open Studio Center. And as a mom, I hate to admit this, but I don't really love mess. So I developed this area with our educator that we said this is an area where someone like me would feel comfortable. We have paints, we have markers, we have clay, Play-Doh. Anything messy you can think of is in that Open Studio Center, because my theory is the kids can make a mess at the museum, have fun, create art. It's something they might not get to do at home. And then we have a gallery, so after they create their masterpiece, they can hang it in the gallery.
What a wonderful idea. How proud they must be.
They are, and you know, we'll leave them up there for a week or two, so it's fun to see them bring grandma or grandma back to see what's hanging in the gallery. And some of the, you know, we'll put different artists and ideas down there for them, but to see what these kids come up with when just given a blank slate of materials is really, really something special.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, that's why it's so great that we have a place here in Erie. And I'm sure people have heard about the Children's Museum, but they aren't really familiar about what you do there. Because a lot of times they don't get much exposure to art or the arts or creativity in school. Because of course they've got to be learning their math and their language arts and so forth. So it leaves little time to explore and use their imagination like this.
And to me, children's museums are a no-brainer. To be honest, because you know our focus in school is math and science and the arts and all these things. A children's museum is that for our community.
Exactly.
So to me, every single kindergartner and first grader should be at the Children's Museum on a field trip. And we've been fortunate enough to receive some grant funding that we've been able to do that for Erie's public schools and whatnot. And we do see a lot of field trip kids, but what an overall great experience for a child to be exposed to all of these topics. Health, we're you know, really trying to focus on the kids 8 and under, but that's not to say that a 10-year-old doesn't have fun as well.
That's right. Well, you were talking a little bit, and I'd like to talk a little bit more in depth about an outdoor classroom. What does that entail? What makes that different from what you're doing inside?
Well, I am probably most proud of this outdoor classroom. We call it Discovery Corner. And how it came about is the museum owned an 80 by 80 gravel parking lot, to say the least. It really wasn't a parking lot, but it was next to the Children's Museum. And when we have field trips and whatnot, and people come to the museum to eat lunch, there really wasn't a great spot for people to go. And so in talking with other children's museums, we learned about this, you know, outdoor classroom initiative and did some research. We attended some workshops and learned that there really wasn't any near us. There is one at the Pittsburgh Children's Museum, but it's more of an urban garden. So we set forth a campaign to raise funds. We raised over $100,000 to create this outdoor classroom experience. And what it is it's 10 elements that allow kids to play in nature. You know, statistics show that kids really need to explore and be in nature, no matter what the weather is, you know, at least an hour a day, if not more. So what we did is we created these elements. There's a discovery path where they can just explore and walk along a path. There's a reading nook, so there's nature books and whatnot that they can read outside. There's music and movement area, so there's musical instruments and hula hoops and whatnot, so they can move and dance. There's a digging area, which is probably the most popular. They can dig for fossils and whatnot. We have a building area, which is messy materials, which is sticks and leaves and rocks and they use their imagination to build. And we also have an art area where they can create nature art and messy art and do leaf rubbings and paint and whatnot. There's a sensory garden where we plant herbs so they can, not only can they touch and explore with the herbs, smell them, use all of their senses, but we'll create art with them and whatnot. And so by the time this whole project is done, which our official certification is May 1st, we are one of 10 in Pennsylvania that is home to this outdoor classroom.
1 in 10.
1 in 10 in Pennsylvania.
Congratulations to
Thank you.
Ainsley.
So,
yes, what an accomplishment.
And it's a set of criteria set by the Arbor Foundation and a company called Nature's Explore. That it's strict criteria. They want to make sure that you are, educating the children in your community correctly and teaching kids about nature and also getting adults involved. So we're pretty excited about it. If you haven't had a chance to see it, you need to come down because it's so beautiful. It's right in the center of downtown Erie. We have nature chimes. It's safe. We've put a fence around to keep everybody inside. It's just a really beautiful, special spot. And to celebrate, I brought you some cookies.
You brought me cookies.
I brought you cookies.
I do like cookies.
To remember the outdoor classroom.
All right.
But they're cookies of a different kind. These are cookies we use in the outdoor classroom. And
these are cookies, okay.
They're called tree cookies.
Tree cookies, all right.
Which are a treat in the outdoor classroom.
All right.
And, it's so funny, even when I went through this process, many of us grew up outside, right?
Right, I did.
But as an adult, we really get away from that.
Yes, we do.
And we don't really take for granted all that is in nature. And kids can take these tree cookies and make a masterpiece, and they know exactly what they're making. They can stack them, they can count them, they watch them topple over. So we have all kinds of elements like this in the outdoor classroom that the kids can play with adults and whatnot, and really getting them to engage in things in nature.
Oh, okay.
So we have all kinds of things like this. Tree cookies, these are a little bit more polished, but we do have rougher tree cookies, big, huge ones that they can jump platform to platform. We have logs, balance logs and whatnot. We allow them to take sticks and paint them, and it's just a really neat way to connect kids to nature.
So what they'll do is they can take these, they can use their imagination, they can build things. Wow.
Yep. And it's funny, once you expose a child to this kind of stuff, we are finding that more kids want to go outside when they're at home, and then they're forcing their parents to go outside, which is what it's really all about, is getting the parents out of their comfort zone a little bit to build and play in nature as well.
I think this is a great idea. I mean, like you, Ainsley, all kidding aside, I mean, I was outside and played outdoors, and my family had a cabin too, so we were always in the mountains. But there are a lot of children out there that don't have the opportunity to be able to go outside. Well, I would just kind of like build all kinds of stuff.
Well, and plus, we're such a technology-filled...
This is sort of like Jenga.
Yeah, we're such a technology-filled culture right now.
Right.
So if they are outside, they're bringing their electronics out with them, and it's like we're trying to teach the kids and the creativity of what's really in our world. We do ladybug releases, we have butterfly bushes, all kinds of fun things to get the kids connected to nature.
Do you explain, like with the trees, if you cut it in the rings and the center? I always just found that absolutely fascinating to be able to tell the age of a tree.
Yep. We have what we call outdoor classroom interpreters that'll be outside that kind of help guide the activities. So, they could be creating bubbles outside, or they could be creating a tree cookie ball race of some sort. And so they're there to answer questions and to help families be engaged out there.
Now, Ainsley, are these volunteers that are out there?
We do. We have some volunteers. We also have staff. We really could use volunteers.
All right. Hear that out there, viewers? They need volunteers.
Yeah.
What a fun place to volunteer.
Yeah, you know, just like any volunteer opportunity, we have multiple needs.
Right.
We have a lot of, we could really use retired teachers, people that could help us on the museum floor at an exhibit for an hour or two a day, or be in the outdoor classroom, weeding, any gardeners out there. You know, we do have a little bit of a training program for them to go through and a requirement, of course, with clearances and whatnot. But anybody who, you know, would be interested, we would certainly love to have them. We're also a great place for elementary education majors or future teachers. You know, it's a great place to gain experience because we host summer camps for kids. We have educational programming. So there's a lot of experience that college kids could get as well.
There is something for everybody here. Really, this is just, I know a lot of the stuff you have there, but honestly, Ainsley, I did not realize the extent of everything. Now, there is an admission, but there is also memberships. Are there different tiers of memberships, or is it just one flat membership?
Yep. Well, admission is $7 a person.
Okay.
So let's go over that first, and that's for anybody age 2 and older. We do have a senior rate. We have a military discount, and we also have a program through a national museum organization called Museums for All,
Okay.
where anybody with a Pennsylvania Access card can show it and be admitted for $2.
Oh, nice.
Yes, for up to 4 people in your family.
Okay.
Memberships range from 55 to 70. There's a family membership, single parent, grandparent, all different kinds of levels based on your needs.
All right.
There's also an option that we call the caregiver. So maybe mom and dad work, but have a babysitter. The babysitter can be added to the card as the caregiver. So there's that option as well.
Oh, that is nice.
And we have guest passes as well. So if you have family that comes to town once a year, it's a great way to bring them, and it's definitely the best deal in town. Even if you come 2 or 3 times, it's worth what you pay.
I would imagine it is. Now, Ainsley, you guys have a website that would list any of the events that you might have going on and up-to-date information?
Yep, it's eriechildrensmuseum.org. It's kind of a mouthful, but there is a calendar. It shows our summer camps, all of our special events, our hours. We are closed on Mondays.
Okay.
That's when we do our deep cleaning. We take that very seriously at the museum, as you can imagine.
Right.
There's lots that goes in little mouths.
Yes.
So we are closed on Mondays. Some Mondays when kids are off school, though, we are open. So you want to check the website for those dates.
Okay. And also, I know you're on Facebook because, of course, I like your page. Honestly, you got to get on Facebook and like them because, again, it keeps you current with what's going on. You know, very interesting, very exciting. Ainsley, I'll tell you one thing. I think this is absolutely wonderful that you were able to come on here and just show us and explain some of the programs that you have there.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
You've grown. You've grown a lot since I've been there last.
We have. We've really tried. You know, we're home to about 50 exhibits right now. I always have more plans for more. In the next couple months, you'll see many more changes coming. We are just so grateful that the community has really embraced this change, and we need everybody's support to keep making improvements.
Okay. And Ainsley, if someone wants to give a call, if they want any more information, what number can they call the museum at?
Yep, it's 453-3743.
And for any of our viewers who are not familiar where you're located, your address?
We are at 420 French Street, which the best way to say it is it's right in the heart of ExpERIEnce, but next to Puffer Belly, where Puffer Belly used to be.
Okay.
It's metered parking, so if you come during the week, you do need quarters. And on the weekends, ExpERIEnce does let us use their lot across the street.
Okay. Ainsley, thank you so much for joining us, letting us know what you have going on. We were talking, viewers, that next time I'd really like to go on location. This way we can actually show you some of the things that we're talking about. But as you've seen with the pictures, it's just a fun place to be. Ainsley, again, thank you. I know you're busy.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
Viewers, again, if you have any questions, please give them a call. Check out their website. Like them on Facebook. and hopefully we'll see you down at the ExpERIEnce Children's Museum soon. Thank you for tuning into the Millcreek Government Channel, and until next time, have a wonderful day.
You're watching the Millcreek Government Channel, powered by WQLN Public Media.